Sister Wives Season 19 has been an emotional roller coaster. The sad death of Garrison and how the whole family is dealing with the loss will be the subject of the next episodes. Despite her best efforts at being positive, Janelle could not hold her tears in the following episode. Read on to see what happened. Garrison Brown's love of cats on Sister Wives Garrison continued to update many fans about his life as a fur father before he died. Suddenly, his family, especially Janelle, love his multiple kitties. A sweet photo of him cuddling with his new pet cat. Buttons was also one of his last Instagram posts, even though the cat 9 years old Garrison admitted that his savior complex couldn't keep it out. Garrison's two other cats, Patches and Katu, have also left many Sister Wives viewers in awe. His commitment to rescue cats has inspired many, and Janelle was emotional after watching her son's immense influence on a nonprofit. Garrison Brown of TLC Sister Wives drew from the Instagram account at Robert the Brown. Janelle cries when she gets a glimpse of Garrison's impact. An upcoming Sister Wives Season 19 episode was just released by TLC. Garrison had a big part to play in Janelle's trip to the Flagstaff Humane Society. Janelle got emotional when she saw photos of her baby on the wall in the office, and the Flagstaff Humane Society awarded a plaque to Garrison in his honor. Source. Hey everyone, I'm Aria. Welcome to the TLC Next Reveal. TLC YouTube via Janelle Brown of Sister Wives. It was an amazing scene to watch, says Janelle. She also explained how Garrison's class called him while he was still attending school for nursing to ask where they could donate the Flagstaff Humane Society, which Janelle suggested was important in Garrison's life. Most of his cats are from there. The employee went on to say, since Garrison's passing, $25,000 has been raised, making him a major donor to the lives of multiple cats. Further, Janelle believes her son would be ecstatic to find out how much money was raised to assist the animals. Sister Wives. Where are the cats of Garrison Brown today? Since Garrison's passing, Janelle Brown earlier gave updates on their whereabouts. Patches and Kathu now live with Michelle Brown, and Logan Buttons is also adopted by Aspen and Mitch Thompson. Janelle states she is happy her family can still take Garrison's kitties, and the fact that Janelle and her family decided not to surrender Garrison's kitties to adoption was another highlight for most Sister Wives fans. Borrow from Janelle Brown 117 on Instagram. Janelle Brown from Sister Wives TLC. Being an animal lover myself, I can say that is probably the most dignified thing your family can do for him. I'm so glad you retained them. That would please Garrison. I pray and send you love. You are always on my prayers. If that is the case, then you people have bits of Garrison's soul with you. Red Art. I like to believe that dogs are a part of our souls. Katu, I'm quite fond of that name. However, the fact that his babies are being taken care of properly makes me even happier. Sadly, Sister's Wife star Garrison Brown died last year. Fans of the TLC show, however, went on to still remember him after a recent episode included a picture of the deceased figure. Watchers grew angry. This also came up during other coverage of Garrison's memory being celebrated in a recent Sister Wives episode. Janelle Brown spoke about her son's final moments. Garrison is recalled by Sister Wives fans as the son of Kody and Janelle Brown. He was with his mother's fourth child and his father's eighth. Garrison enlisted in the Nevada National Guard in 2015. Tragically, his mother Janelle had reported his death in March 2024. Which was a suicide when he died. He was 25. YouTube user Garrison Brown from Sister Wives. Janelle Garrison's mom spoke about her son during his final moments on the show around March 5th, the day of the anniversary of his death, observing, and this was not out of the norm, because he and I spoke probably 3 times a day. She confessed to texting him. Janelle spoke of his battle with depression and said, I knew he was struggling. In addition, I always just grabbed the phone and made it a point to call him. Janelle disclosed that the information about his death was unexpected at the time he was found by Gabriel. "Mom, he's gone," he recounts. "What do you mean?" "He's dead," he asserted. "He killed himself. I don't know the next few minutes," she added. "But I got into the car and drove. We knew that he wasn't doing well. Even though we were doing everything we could for him, he simply couldn't keep up." Due to a recent episode, fans have been talking about Garrison's memory following a photo of Garrison being featured on the show. Fans recently began speaking about his memories. "I didn't think the season could get any worse," TLC did it. A fan posted on social media. The fan appears to use aliases to speak about Robyn and Kody throughout the article. They continued to describe this episode as truly terrible, and it was regarding Baldox and Solwyn, who haven't dated him. That Instagram account of Garrison Brown. The manner they addressed Solwyn, asking for more time with their father, and mocking them for being such beings at CO, even going as far as to tell them he would punch them out if his pencil got wet, were all proof of how Baldox used Garrison as fodder for the program. Because Dayton was taken to the RV they bought for him, and Solwyn prohibited him from having any part in the plot. "We never heard anything bad about him after his death. He uses them as contempt again. We were bothered by the signage he sold, and even the building of them. They occupied the majority of this program, and no one spoke about Garrison from the family or all their recollections of him. This also comes after the fans talked about the respect for Garrison's memory. In another article, fans directly objected to how a picture of Garrison was being treated. It ought to have been treated more dignified in order to honor Garrison's memory, as many indicated when they saw it in Kody's garage. The importance of this for Garrison's legacy was also highlighted in the initial poster. As they showed, Kody said he wishes to place him in the grave for the second time. "It's totally shameful. We refer to it as burial. Why does it mean so much to him? Make him disappear." This feeling was repeated by a number of fans who also posted the same comments. Some also mentioned recent allegations that Kody attempted to have Garrison's burial videotaped by TLC. Here are some comments. "Because Robyn won't allow it. In the house he puts Garrison's picture in the garage. She felt it would be in opposition to the massive painting of the giant deer gazing out across the blazing forest. In fact, he took it down from the monument, perhaps due to lack of receipt of the ashes or the flag. I'm happy they didn't publicize the alleged Baldox TLC trip to the memorial. I understood that the children drove off Ramen Head's TLC from recording the military funeral. All right, when he said that he would always keep him in the garage. I almost screamed, as in, what the no? He should be the subject of attention in the home." A mourning mother stood among memories and photos in a moment of heartbreaking loveliness, her heart filled with pride, but her eyes moist with tears. The woman was Janelle, a familiar face for years, who many have known through a shared family history due to her serene strength and earthy demeanor. But this visit had nothing to do with TV or star. It was about a mother honoring the true devotion of a son who had left too early, a son whose kindness and charity extended far beyond the boundaries of his own family, who lived on site at the Rocky Hills near the edge of town. The animal shelter had evolved into a sanctuary for stray animals and individuals who wished to feel as if they were found. Her son had committed his time, energy into his work and deepest concern to protecting people who could not defend themselves, and he had found solace in rescuing others here. The shelter had made the decision to pay tribute to his legacy. Here, surrounded by photographs of animal friends and wise counsel to be nice, she entered slowly into the little building where the creaky old flooring were warmed by sunlight that filtered through the windows. The walls were filled with photographs of her son holding kittens, soothing stray animals, and smiling with a contentment that only animals appear to be capable of bring forth in him. The warm and courteous staff of the shelter greeted her with the warmth of shared sorrow. More than with words, much was needed. Words were excessive. The burden of unexpressed affection was already in the air. She was taken to a small alcove off to one side along the main hallway, where a brass nameplate shone against a background of earthy browns and soft grays. A couple of his favorite pictures were placed carefully below it, featuring one of him cradling a gray tabby with ears that tilted to one side, another of him chuckling as a calico roamed over his shoulders, and a last photo of him sitting serenely with a huge orange tomcat curled in his lap. It had his name etched with precision and a simple note to the person who provided a voiceless, with a home and second chance, her throat constricted with every breath. It was beautiful. It was catastrophic, as memories came like a tide. She extended her fingertips, gently stroking the frame's edge. He spoke of each animal as if it were family. He was resolved to care for the animals. No one else would, and he made excited phone calls over new additions. Buttons was a older cat already in her sunset years and had been left behind during a relocation. He had taken her in immediately away, saying it was fate. He'd said, "I couldn't leave her there. She deserves to feel safe before her time arrives." Buttons purred as if she'd always been in his arms. Perhaps she had his love of animals was more than a hobby. The mission was quiet, a promise to give the sort of love that was uncomplicated, healing, and true. He'd given them his time, his home, and his feelings without expecting glory. He was just like that. Shelter workers gently informed her the story of what had occurred since she stood there. Word spread in the town and beyond. After his passing, both people who had never heard about their family history before and those who had tracked it out came forward to present letters with genuine condolences. Gifts and personal accounts of animals they had rescued in his name had all been pouring into the sanctuary. One of the volunteers hinted at a room full of supplies such as food, clothing, and medicine, all thanks to a foundation that had been created in his name. Even the most seasoned staff members were shocked by the amount that had been raised. One of them stated, "We've been able to save so many more lives all because of him." She wiped a tear from her face, feeling both gratitude and grief. The essence of her son was still there. It had just transitioned, overflowing into other individuals, lifting them, touching them. Even now, he was a guardian of the forgotten. Even though she felt emotions, she smiled when questioned about whether she would like to share a memory. He used to take everything home with him when he was younger. I remember he once found a frog on the sidewalk and baby birds and hurt squirrels. He could not stand anything going through struggle that remained constant. Her love for her children had remained her guiding light, even after she had parted ways with the turmoil of shared family life, coped with breakups, and found herself once more in a new installment. He had always been the most sensitive of them all. She gazed in the direction of a cozy corner of the shelter, where some animals were lounging in the early morning. One purred, while it moved cautiously towards her, and nuzzled around her ankle. It was a gray puff with sharp eyes. The staff smiled when they saw the cat who had become so attached to her son. During the course of his regular visits, the moment felt nearly sacred as she knelt to stroke it, like a silent communication between universes. She was offered a small notebook of donor messages by the shelter director. Some were simple, "Thank you for your love of animals." Others were extremely close. "I also got an older cat due to him." Each was a thread in the tale he had unconsciously woven, despite no longer being present physically. His essence remained interwoven in the texture of each warm blanket. Every life that was saved and every safe refuge his memory had added to her heart was sorrowful and lightened as she stood in front of the plaque once more when the sun shifted and the room gleamed golden. "You did good," she said in a soft voice. So fine later, as she stepped outside, the crisp air enveloped her. Yes, there was hurt. There was intent. Although she could broadcast his love by remarking on him, not just through ostentatious performances, but also through small everyday acts of kindness, intending consoling and electing compassion. The heritage continued in the home. He had not left his precious friends, beloved buttons, sweet patches, and beloved Katu kinfolk who knew their meaning and was able to feel his presence in every purr and paw. Stride had led them in. They were more than mere animals. They were reminders of a man who had expressed unconditional and deep love with a warm smile. One niece talked of how Buttons now traveled with her around the house and snuggled up beside her on bad days. She knows, she grumbled. She feels his love through us. Though not always easy or without hurtful times, the family had gathered with the same intention of doing all they could to remember him. The holidays had transformed, becoming more reflective and subdued. Costly affairs were not required for them to feel his presence. It was in the garden where flowers bloomed from the seeds he had long sown, in the framed photograph near the fireplace, and in the cozy nook where the cats slept. He had opted for the path of quiet presence in a world that was often too fast and distracted. He had quit for the week when nobody was watching. He had given a damn. There has never been drama, love, and heartbreak in the reality shows about the lives of giant multiple families. None of the many stories that have emerged throughout the years have been as tragic and heartbreaking as the recent passing of one of the family's oldest boys. His premature death has left an enduring legacy on the family, especially his mother, who has to cope with the unthinkable tragedy of losing a child while living a life that is constantly under scrutiny by the world. This young fellow, who was the 8th child of his father and the 4th of his mother, gently touched many individuals' hearts with his achievements and unique spirit, apart from his kin connections before his tragic demise. He was considered a dedicated brother and son who was also dedicated to assisting people in need and serving his community. The family was shaken to its core by the tragedy that had happened in the early spring of the previous year. His mother, who had already been deeply involved in the family's multiple marriage system, had to struggle with the unimaginable weight of losing her son to a silent war with her inner demons. Even with her best efforts and unrelenting devotion, she was unable to prevent him from fighting in ways that are often invisible, which eventually resulted in his death from what was later found to be self-harm. A son's memory in perspective, from love and heartache. A wave of sorrowful thoughts marked the anniversary of this tragic tragedy. His mother spoke openly of their final discussions on the family's televised story, showing to the viewers the closeness of their day-to-day correspondence, the reality that they communicated multiple times daily. A bond she cherished contributed to the profundity of the loss. She explained her son's struggle with depression and her persistent efforts to assist him when he felt as if the world was narrowing around him. She admitted that the finality of his decision still amazed her, despite knowing he was in a difficult situation. A family member who had discovered him first delivered the news to her, and the shock left her in a tailspin of pain and incredulity. Even though his family had rallied around him and tried to get help, sometimes love and support are not enough to remove the pain. That still is the complexity of mental health issues, is shown by the mother's recollections, which painted a battle that was futile in spite of their best attempts. The most recent season's scandal over a son's depiction, a recent episode of the constant family drama, ignited a fresh wave of controversy among devoted fans, many of whom were dissatisfied with the manner in which the young man's memory was portrayed. Though his picture was well placed front and center, some fans felt that the character's depiction was disrespectful and failed to adequately honor his legacy. Numerous social media community members lamented the episode's emphasis, deeming that genuine remembrances and tributes from those near and dear to him were overlooked, while some of those family members who had been kept at arm's length or apart from him was given too much attention. The personal story of the young man was eclipsed by the heavy emphasis in the episode on tensions and unresolved conflicts. Viewer comments pointed to what they perceived as a larger issue: the use of tragedy for purposes of drama. Some feel that the life and memory of the son were simplified to a plot point in ongoing family battles by the family patriarch and one of his subsequent wives, who used the story more as a prop than as a genuine memorial amidst family drama. Fans expect dignity and respect. When television audiences witnessed that a precious portrait of the deceased son was on exhibition in a strange and seemingly disrespectful location, the squalid garage of the family patriarch outrage-mounted fans were outraged by this sense that a memorial room or a room of honor in the home was suitable for such a tribute. Many individuals on the web stated that this place was part of a bigger trend of some family members' disdain and disregard of the young man's legacy, only further distancing those who cared for him from those who were believed to be denying his heritage. One user made an ironic remark about the apparent significance of other artwork in the house, noting that a huge painting of a deer gazing upon a wildfire appeared to be more important than honoring the son. Others claimed that the youngsters who wanted to preserve that sacred moment secret spurned the family leader's bid to arrange for the funeral to be recorded for the reality show. A mother's silent grief amidst public derision. The mother's passage through this trying period has been a silent testimonial to the agony that popular personalities endure when their personal tragedies are exposed to the public eye. She has been stoic in the face of her ongoing and relentless sorrow, focusing on honoring the memory of her son while keeping the challenges of family dynamics and television production. She shared narratives about her son's kindness, his commitment to causes near to his heart, and the love he showed to everyone around him. Her perspective humanizes her child outside of the television story, giving us a glimpse of the real love and sorrow that no camera lens can fully capture, even in the midst of the spotlight of the public and the dramatization of family conflict. The effect on fans and family. The death of this young man has affected people much beyond the immediate family. Dedicated viewers and fans of the program have shared their personal experiences of loss and mental health issues in an effort to offer their sympathy. Many have taken advantage of the occasion to raise awareness of the value of support networks and mental wellness. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Get more updates daily. See you soon.